There. Good morning to Melissa Bird, I think's first. John second, Chris third. Yeehaw. Good morning, Chris and John and Melissa. Oops, that's calling me. Ren is there too. Oh, it's supposed to scream at me, that girl. Good morning, Ren. How's the weather down where you are? A pleasant one? Yeah, it's pleasant here. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for the old snake, the old Joe Blake. Good morning. Well, we have guests today. We have people returning to the front. We have guests. I'm about to go to a song, but when you see the lady on the screen, that would be the one and only Karen Brewer. Anyway, we'll go for a song.
Tell me the story of the sovereign swan. Sovereign swan faces right.
Faces the fight.
Leading the way in the fight. Tell me the story of the sovereign swan. Where'd he come from?
Trying to take ownership of the flag again, the West Australian flag, our emblem and everything, and they turned it left because they're all lefties. I turned it back, faced right, front of the fight.
Want to release the spirit of encouragement.
Yeah,
Oh,
Pretty much it, mate. There's a little poem I wrote too, I'll have to find it.
Want to release the power of encouragement in your ears. Be exhorted.
My favourite.
Jesus' name.
Generally always start Sunday with this song.
Be encouraged in Jesus' name. Times wherein seem like
I'll have to dig it out.
there's no going back.
Yeah.
I wrote a bluesy thing.
Things we're hearing about.
Yeah, that one was totally
Lord
out of
is
action, but I've
spoken
actually
of.
wrote a bluesy thing.
Is he never going to see action again? That's what I'm worried
It's
about.
no surprise
Don't
who's
worry,
in the
mate, that's done
kingdom.
pretty well. That was only a couple of days ago.
You were made for this
And those
hour.
punches whistles, mate, fucking magic.
You were made to stand strong. You were made for this time. You were made to sing. You were made to fight. You were made to worship with all your might. You were made for the glory poured out upon you. Were made for this time. You were made for this time. Calling the fathers,
It'll be spontaneous, I reckon.
calling the fathers. You know war very clearly. We're calling the fathers. Calling you to the young ones, to the young hearts. The spirit of Elijah's been released upon the land. The spirit of Elijah means John the Baptist is here again.
No Elijah, no one
Calling in the wilderness. And the wave of the King is coming. Yeah. We're getting ready now.
ended up running through Floyd.
Getting ready for that day.
And he got the feeling sorry for himself even after that great victory, man. Right? And the Lord said to him, brother, I've yet to set on left here alone, right? I'm all by myself. And the Lord said, brother, I still have 7,000 loans bound to leave the farm. I don't even know about it. And I'm on about that, you know. We feel like we're doing alone. But then we've got to remember the laws working only part of that, right? You've got people working elsewhere, man. Or even India, you know. And I'm not talking about
Oh, come, all you who are weary, come to the table of the Lord. Oh, come, He will take away your worries. His yoke is easy, His burden is light. He will turn your mourning into dancing on the Hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, come, don't delay any longer. It's coming back, that's never been so near. Oh, come, fall back any farther. Oh, feel free and make a change. Get right with God, in Jesus' holy name.
But what you do is you look back. The things are white, the things are no, you're right. Concerning other things.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. If you're praying for somebody, call out their name now. If you're praying for them, call their name out loud. Call it out right now in Jesus' name. Oh, come, God has mercy on us sinners. Come, all you who are lost.
So we're looking over here. I'll turn the music down, but Diggs, the one and only Karen Brewer is right here. Right, I think they're doing good. They keep talking to us. Please support the channel. We've got Amanda, Dash, Chris McGrath, John Belcher, Mr. Bird. They're all there.
Come down there
Let's go a bit back here just so we can get the music going a bit in the background. But yeah, welcome to Canberra, Karen.
Awesome to finally meet all my tribe, right?
That's right.
Now,
yeah.
we're just going to talk about the Canberra Times for a minute.
Yeah, go for it.
Now, the Canberra Times is one of their newspapers. Yes, and guess what? It's controlled by the Freemason Network of Filth. So let's have a look who founded the Canberra Times, shall we? Now, that was a bloke by the name of Thomas Shakespeare, and he was one of them Labor Party politicians. Isn't that extraordinary? He was born in Penrith to engineer Tom Shakespeare and his inbred wife, Margaret Brown. He was educated in Forbes. Funny enough, isn't that funny? Yes. Big Freemason town, Forbes, yeah. And he became an apprentice at the age of 14. An apprentice journalist at the age of 14. Must have done quite a bit of homage and merit, I would say. Yes, indeed. In 1894, so that paper's been going for a while, hasn't it? In 1894, he founded the Canberra Lacklander newspaper. Isn't that interesting? He founded a newspaper. Wow.
Where did he find it?
And in 1986, he married Anne Foster, with whom he had 6 children. He ran the Grafton newspaper as well. Oh, geez, he gets around, doesn't he? From 1902 to 1904. And then from 1904 to 1928, he was the secretary of the New South Wales Country Press Association. Yes, he was the secretary of the Press Association. That's how they control
Just had it
everything.
all laid out for him, didn't
Yeah.
it? It just worked perfectly.
Yeah, because the Freemason network of filth controls everything you see, hear and read, all of it. But let's have a look at this. He became the president of the Country Press Association from 1928 to 29. And in 1925, so while he was the secretary and president, he became the Federal Capital Press of Australia Limited, the publisher of the Canberra Times. And of course, everybody else that's ever worked there or been appointed there, they're all part of the Freemason de Morlaix inbred network of filth. And of course, the Freemasons control everything you see, hear and read, all of it. So they think. He was initially a member of the Labor Party, but he left over conscription. Yes, it turned out that Shakespeare had an issue with conscription. Right, what a load of shit. And then in 1923 to 1934, so 11 years, he sat as a New South Wales politician. Isn't that interesting? While he was running the newspaper as well. Politician and a newspaper journalist. It's handy, isn't it? That ensures only your particular brand of lies gets out. It's handy, that, isn't it? And then from 1930 until his death, he was also a member of the Australian Capital Territory Advisory Council. It's also the Advisory Council. They control everything you see, hear and read, folks, all of it. Shakespeare died in Canberra in 1938, and of course every editor that's ever been appointed to the Canberra Times ever since is naturally a Freemason de Morlaix connected individual. All of them, no exception. Isn't that interesting? From Forbes to Canberra to a politician, editor and president and secretary of the Press Association. My goodness, wasn't he well bred, eh? Betcha he had a flat head, but unfortunately there's no picture. That's a shame, because I always like to check the back of their head. Because you see, that's the inbred defect. That's the birth defect of all the Masons. They've got a flat head. Yeah, from the skull to the back of the neck here. It's flat. They don't have the curve like the rest of us do. If you look for information about that, you'll find it on my Telegram channel. Sean Ross did a fabulous documentary about the inbred genetic defect that is the flat head. Albo's got one. You know Anthony Albanese, the current Freemason Prime Minister that we have? He's got a flat head. Same flat head as Malcolm Turnbull, Tony Abbott, Julia Gillard. All of them have got the flat head. That's what number 2 of 10's all about, folks. Thou shalt not bow thyself down to them, nor serve them. The reason they want you bowing down in churches and everything is they want to have a quick look at the back of your head. Are you part of their pharaonic Freemason network of filth or not? Because you see, the thing is, folks, we're all born in the image of the Creator, all of us. The Freemason chooses it. They choose this sick behaviour. They choose the incest breeding. A lot of people go on about the Freemason degrees. That's a load of shit. Okay, the Freemason degrees, it's a load of shit. These people are bred for purpose from the Pharaoh's seed of filth. That's who they are. And they choose it. You can be born in a Freemason family and not be a Mason. But the ones that become prominent, they choose it. They choose to perpetuate the sin of what it is that they do, which is inbred breeding program. That's what connects them all. So yeah, go look up that documentary on the Freemason Flathead from Sean Ross. I've posted it on my Telegram channel again today. I urge you all to watch it, because once you know it, you can see it. You can see it in every costumed thug. When they take their cap off, those ones that have got the Templars mark on their shoulder cuffs, you know that V thing? That's actually the Templars logo. That's what it is. When they take their cap off, you can see their flat heads. That's why they're so vicious. beating up old people that are standing peacefully and in trying to incite violence amongst the profane. I personally never talk to a costumed thug. Why would I want to talk to a costumed thug whom we know protects child rapists? And we know they do. We've had Royal Commission after Royal Commission, nearly 4,000 published testimonies from my fellow countrymen who've told the stories of what's happened inside these government-run institutions, charity and religious organisations. Like Senator Heffernan told you, they are police documents. So any costumed thug that's putting on a uniform with those little Templars logos on the shoulder cuffs and sleeves, I know what you are. You are inbred filth. And I don't talk to inbred filth. Not ever. Inbred seeds of filth is what they are. Senator Heffernan goes on to tell you, when the police find it necessary to put a judge under surveillance, and that surveillance is dropped because of a lack of cooperation between the New South Wales Police and the AFP, we have a problem. And right now around the world, every country has a problem. And so we stand. This is the front line at the gate of your governors. Anzac, please stand. I didn't make the Westminster system. I didn't write the rules. But what is required is your presence. You must actually physically present to your governor and instruct them. That's how it's done. It takes 37 seconds and it goes like this. If you're in Canberra, then you are addressing the Governor General. Governor General David Hurley, my name is Karen. I have lost confidence in the government. I instruct you to dissolve the federal parliament and issue the writs for a fresh election. Further, I want all the documents Senator Heffernan produced to the Royal Commission released to the people unredacted. And we will be here every day until you do as instructed. The roles of the governor is to represent the will of the people. The catch here is the people must physically present and instruct their governor. No petition will work, no letter written will work. They have every right to ignore anything on paper, but what they cannot ignore is your presence and your instruction. And every day I get up and I visualise Canberra here surrounded with hundreds of thousands of people, all standing in silence, standing together as we would on an Anzac Day dawn service, patiently waiting our turn for our 37 seconds to instruct the governor. I visualise it in Canberra, in Sydney, in Brisbane, in Melbourne, in Tasmania, South Australia, Western Australia, and the Northern Territory. Your governor has the title of an administrator in the Northern Territory. Thousands and thousands of people standing shoulder to shoulder in silence, holding the line, waiting for their turn on the megaphone to instruct their governor. That's all it's going to take, Anzac. We need to hear your voice. Your voice makes all the difference. Take the trip to your governor's gate. Stand there with other Anzacs. We're holding the line. We have no need for violence. We are powerful in our presence. Please come and join us. Once you've done it the first time, you get over the nerves. Once you've done it the second time, you're standing more confidently as an Anzac. And once you've done it the third time, you are fully standing in your power. You've been programmed from the age of 5 to get into a classroom. You were told to sit down, shut up and obey authority. Your parents reinforced that with do as what the teacher says. One of the most dangerous things our parents ever did to us. was to silence our voice. And I'm asking you to go against all the programming. I'm saying to you, Anzac, your voice is powerful and your presence is deafening. It takes 37 seconds to do. And once you do it, you too are powerful. You know the power of your presence and the power of your voice, Anzac. Come and join us and stand. Everyone here has a wealth of knowledge about lots of different areas, and I can tell you, you'll engage in very nice conversations with really fabulous average Joes. So come out of your homes and show yourself to the Governor. It's so very important that you do. Anyway, I hope to see you all here. I'm here for a couple of days. So come and join us. Together we are mighty and we will overcome. But I need to hear your voice, Anzac. Please come and stand and instruct. 37 seconds is all it takes, and it will indeed change your life to use your voice to instruct. Anyway, I hope you all think about that. And to anybody that might be watching this from Sydney, come on, you're only a couple of hours up the road. Take a drive. Stand. Bye. Albie, Dan, where do you want me to?
No, just stays on. They stay on.
No worries.
We go, Diggs, and now we'll come back and have a chat over here. Well, thank you for that.
No worries.
Good on you. A little plane up there. And we look back here at the barbecue, and I'll sit down and say good day to you in a short minute, Diggs.
Smells good, but
Oh,
of
yeah.
course you'd know that if you were here.
Yeah, no, they got smell-o-vision. They scratch their screens and they get up close and smell.
It's always better in person.
People have been known to chuck bacon on, eggs on in the background just for the smells.
It's still better if they come in
Oh,
person.
absolutely.
I mean, Dan, we've got 6.5 million people in Sydney. It's only a couple of hours up the
I
road.
think we've got room for them.
You know, it's only a couple of hours up the
Plenty
road.
of room.
Come for a Sunday drive, it's a nice drive down, not too many traffic lights. Oh, I stopped in Goulburn yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting town. You know, there's a massive courthouse built there in Goulburn. It's massive. Right, it's got a great big copper dome on it, one of them colonial ones.
Yeah, right.
And you know, they whacked that whole building up in 2 years, in the 1800s. Bloody marvellous, that. Hammer and chisel, horse and cart, I've got to get me one of them.
They must have been getting their machinery straight from the Ford and Commodore factory.
You know, I mean, 2 years. You should see the place. It's ginormous.
They moved in.
Gotta get myself one of them hammer and chisels, definitely.
Yeah, they work a wonder, don't they?
Bloody marvellous. Couldn't even build that for 2 years now.
No, couldn't build it at all, probably.
You know, I often think about Senator Heffernan's speech. Geez, that guy had some backbone, didn't he?
Yeah.
I have produced a set of documents to the Royal Commission under an order to produce. They are police documents and they are very disturbing. There is a whole lot of prominent people named in these documents. And you can see he gestures to 2 piles worth of documents that are about a handspan high each.
Yes.
And then he goes on to just refer to one of them, but I mean, he's already told you there's a whole lot of prominent people named in these documents, plural. When the police find it necessary to put a judge under surveillance, and that surveillance is dropped because of the lack of cooperation between the New South Wales Police and the AFP, we have a problem. He just told you that 2 of the police forces in our country are corrupt, all of them. There's not one costumed thug coming out and saying, we've got to table these documents now. He goes on to tell you that every Attorney General from Philip Ruddock until now has seen these documents.
Yeah.
Well, that's 6 Attorney Generals all up.
Well,
From both sides of politics. They haven't said a word, but it's interesting at the moment because we've got Mark Dreyfus back again as the Attorney General. And of course, he is previously one of the Attorney Generals that has in fact seen the documents. So so we've got a head honcho pedophile protector back in the role of Attorney General. I don't think that's good.
Oh, he was going to,
You know?
his mandate for himself is to erase all corruption within Parliament by the end of 2022.
Well, given that he's already proven himself corrupt, as he was the Attorney General previously, and did see those documents.
And
So
now he's being investigated by the CCC.
for another Freemason organisation investigating themselves, why do I have no confidence in that?
Exactly.
Now, what's interesting to note about Mark Dreyfus, the Attorney General, the current Attorney General of Australia, is his daddy was a composer. It's one of them composers, one of them music people, you know, getting into your head with all their Freemason shit, right? But the other thing that's really interesting to note about Mark Dreyfus, the current Attorney General of Australia, was his family, they say, originated out of Nazi Germany, right? Yeah, but of course we know that that was just a disbursement of the Freemason network of filth. But the really interesting thing about Mark Dreyfus is he comes out of Scotch College in Melbourne. And of course that school's well documented for its sexual abuse of children. I mean, they've had case studies and everything about Scotch College. And of course, if you look at the logo, I don't know if you can see that, folks, but that's the logo of Scotch College. And as you can see, it's the concept of 4 done in the X, which is all from Freemason. Big old Catholic crown up there. That's not the imperial crown, that's the Catholic crown. So go and have a look at the logo of Scotch College in Melbourne. It's very telling, big Freemason school. And then scroll down to the notable alumni list, because that's always very telling, how they control everything you see, hear and read. So let's just have a look at a few of these notable alumni out of Scotch College, shall we? So we've had viceroys, so that's them pharaohs, you know. Sir Zelman Gowan, the Governor General of Australia, come out of Scotch College in Melbourne. And have a look at this one, Peter Hollingsworth, Governor General of Australia. He came out of Scotch College in Melbourne. And of course, that's the one that had to resign, remember, because he was also the head of the Anglican Church. And it came out that he'd covered up for pedophiles. And so they had to get rid of Hollingworth. So, yeah, but he's out of Scotch College. And then we've got Sir Ninian Stephen. He was the Governor General of Australia and he was the Chief Justice of the High Court of Australia. And he comes out of Scotch College in Melbourne. God, it's a small world.
Must be a good college.
And then Sir Henry Winkle, Governor General of Victoria. Sorry, Governor of Victoria. And he was also the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Victoria. That's why we have no confidence in the judiciary, because they're all Freemasons. But this school controls a lot. Yeah, oh, look, it's really interesting. Now, you know Monash University in Melbourne? That's named after Sir John Monash. And he came out of Scotch College in Melbourne too. That's a small world, isn't it? Now, Sir Walter Murdoch, right, who Murdoch University is named after, he came out of that school as well, Scotch College. And of course, we've got people controlling the universities, you know. They've got to control and infect everything you see, hear and read. So you had Sir Zelman Cowan. He was the Vice-Chancellor of the University of New England and the University of Queensland. Peter Darvall, Vice-Chancellor of Monash University. You see how it just changes hands and yet it's always in the Masons' hands. Sir Arthur Dean, Chancellor of Melbourne University, all out of Scotch College. My, it's a small world. Sir David Derham, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Melbourne, yeah, all out of this same school. Sir Archibald Glenn, Chancellor of La Trobe University, yeah, all out of this same school. We have Sir George Payton, Vice-Chancellor of Melbourne University, David Pentington, Vice-Chancellor of Melbourne University, Ian Renard, Chancellor of the University of Melbourne, Sir Lindsay Ryde, Chancellor of the University of Hong Kong. Oh, they go international. Oh, yes, Freemasons, a global society. Sir Kenneth Ware, Vice-Chancellor of Oxford University. Isn't that interesting? All out of this one school. Now, all these secret societies, they have other societies as well, sub-societies like your Odd Fellows, and there's one that's called the Royal Society. And that's really interesting. If you've never looked it up, go have a look. Now, out of the Royal Society members was Sir Thomas Cherry, Richard Dalizzi, Sir Neil Hamilton Bailey, Alan Head, Andrew Holmes, John Phillip, and John Spencer. all out of Scotch College in Melbourne. Bloody extraordinary. Now, of course, they control academia, the Freemason network of filth. They control academia and science. And out of Scotch College in Melbourne, we have Robert Barnick, mathematician, John Cade, who discovered lithium carbonate, Robert Percival Cook, who's a nutritional expert. Really, why would I not trust a Freemason with nutrition? Oh, I think I know why. Reverend Dr. Andrew Harper, biblical scholar, because you see all religions brandings of Freemasons, all of them. But this one's really interesting. Ian Johnston, IVF reproductive medicine pioneer. Isn't that extraordinary? Out of Scotch College. Hugh Lamb Smith, an Australian educator, and the 2nd Field Ambulance, who landed in Gallipoli, because Gallipoli was just organised slaughter of the profane. Because if you research all the military leaders that were in charge of our men in the First World War, you soon discover they're all Masons. Just Google the largest list of notable Australian Freemasons. Goes on for pages and pages. I think there's about 36 pages all up of their names. James Leary, Professor of Scandinavian Studies at the University of Wisconsin. Went to Scotch College in Melbourne. It's extraordinary, isn't it? Along with our Attorney General, our current Attorney General, Mark Dreyfus. Anyway, Stuart McIntyre, Dean of the Arts of University of Melbourne. Sir William Mackenzie, who's the museum administrator. Now, that's very important that the Freemasons control all the museums, because that's how they control the history. So you never learn the truth. Now, this is really interesting out of Scotch College in Melbourne. Robert Marks, editor of the Australian Journal of Management. He was also a professor at the Australian Graduate School of Management. It's how they make sure only their filth get prominent. Dr. Neil McQueen, 2nd principal of the Presbyterian Ladies College. Now, that's really interesting, the Presbyterian Ladies College, because another one of our Attorney Generals, Nicola Roxon, she went to one of them colleges too, and she was an Attorney General. She's one of the Attorney Generals that has seen the document. Yeah, she now sits as part of the board on Australian Super, I think it is. Yeah, it's disturbing, isn't it? And then we've got Stephen Newton, principal of Caulfield Grammar School. Now, that's an interesting school. Yes, that's an interesting school. Graham Kennedy came out of that school. Yes, yes.
Well, I would.
Yes.
You almost put the two together myself.
Yes, you can. It's not hard. These notable alumni lists tell the whole story. Sydney Patterson, who was the director and Australian oldest medical research institute, WEHI. He came out of Scotch College as well. It's extraordinary.
Genius.
James Simpson, who was a professor in Harvard. No, not really. No. Well, if you're a Freemason, they send their children there. But if you're a profane person and you send your child there, then your child will just be used as fodder for the network of filth.
Profane and vulgar. Guilty.
Peter Singer, professor at Princeton University, out of this little school in Melbourne, eh? It's extraordinary. Thomas Sloan, an epidemiologist. You know those ones that keep telling us there's a virus?
Virus, yeah.
It's funny how they all come out of one of these Freemason schools.
It's funny how those same schools are in Perth as well. Xavier College,
yes,
Scotch
yes.
College. We've got Aquinas.
And
CBC was good. I went to CBC, so they're fine.
Freemason schools can also be public schools. You've got to have a look at the school badge. Well, for example, Sydney Boys High School is a Freemason school. The notable alumni list. ScoMo came out of there, a whole lot of them. We can have a look at that later if you want.
Yeah.
George Tate, the first principal of...
Glenn Theakson went there too. We just researched
That's right. Yes, he's one of them Freemason judges.
I need to touch on that word merit with you, but we'll get to that.
Oh, merit. Yes, you get merit on your knees.
Yeah,
that's
you get a
right.
merit on your knees.
But what you have to remember, to a Freemason, that behaviour is normal. They actually think incest breeding, child rape, paedophilia, all of it is their normal.
I got an education last night, tell you, on all this.
Okay, George Tate. Now, this is a really interesting guy, okay, because he was the very first principal of the Presbyterian Ladies College. All those years ago. And he was educated out of Scotch College in Melbourne, along with our current Attorney General. And we've got David Vines, Professor of Economics at Oxford University. So he must have earned a lot of merit because he was going right to the source at Oxford. Yeah. And we have this bloke called Sir Ian Walk, right? Chemist and scientist. They're all Masons.
Yeah.
Right. Let's have a look at business out of Scotch College, shall we? Because they control everything we see, hear and read.
Well, we're
So you've
talking
got-
about the 5 pillars of Freemasonry that they own them all, basically. All
They
there
do.
straight out of Scotch College, all united. But then they pigeonhole them so that we don't talk to
But
each
have
other.
a look at
Bullshit.
business. Sir James Balderstone, chairman of BHP.
Oh.
You see, that's how you money launder the Commonwealth out of the country, right? David Crawford, chairman of the Fosters Group and Lend-Lease. Isn't it funny?
He
Because
owns all the
Lend-Lease
beer.
Lend-Lease
owns all
gets
the
all the
piss.
contracts to the government, eh? And so they get the taxpayers' dollar,
Mm.
and then they build some building that we really don't need, pay millions and millions of dollars for it. Lend-Lease will get the contract, and then the taxpayers' money get laundered back to the
It's like we're paying
Freemason
for our
network
beer
of
3
Phil.
times.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? Have a look at this one.
Masterful.
Sir Archibald Glenn, chairman of the Imperial Chemist
You had me at Sir.
Industry
You had me at Sir.
Australia. We've got Charles Good, who's chairman of the ANZ Bank and Woodside Petroleum, all out of Scotch College.
Oh, there's the Dockers and the West Coast Eagles accounted
Exactly.
for, BHP and Woodside.
And wait for this one, Sir Lennox Hewitt, chairman of Qantas, all out of Scotch College, Freemason School. Sir Harold Knight,
Limbris. They're all just got
governor
this
of the
Limbris,
Reserve
mate.
Bank.
Yeah.
It's the money laundering, that
It's
one, isn't
money
it?
laundering.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
governor of
It's
the
trafficking and money laundering all in
of the
one.
Reserve Bank. And then we've got Jonathan Ling, CEO of Fletcher's Building.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that funny, eh? They get all the government contracts too. Sir Ian McClellan, he was also the chairman of BHP and the ANZ Bank.
Yeah, and his own.
All out of this one
I
school.
know, mate. And they've got their own private corporations as well, McClellan and Dowse and all the
It's all
rest of
money
it. Yeah.
laundering. It's going to get really interesting now. Lionel Robinson, financier in Australia and England. Oh, that's some money laundering back to England, isn't it? Yeah.
Straight to the bank, mate.
Hugh
Straight to
Syme,
the bank.
proprietor of the Age newspaper. Came out of
Hey,
Scotch College as well.
Take it to the bank and cover your ass all in one hit.
Yeah, they control
Fucking
they control
sweet,
the
mate, they did a
media.
number.
Robert Somerville, chairman of the Australian Broadcasting Commission. The Australian Broadcasting Group,
Yeah,
that's
so
the ABC.
That's the ABC.
It's controlled by Freemasons.
That's Auntie Freemason.
And in addition to that, Somerville was also the Australian Telecommunications Commission, Overseas Telecommunications Commission. He merged to become Telstra. He was the founding director of Hill Samuel Australia, which is now the Macquarie Group. Oh, they got all stitched
They
up,
must
haven't
be
they?
highly enlightened individuals.
Even Thornley, founder of Look Smart, and chief executive of Better Place Australia. Really, Better Place Australia.
Yeah, well, we know that works in opposite, so that's shit place Australia.
And let's have a look at the judiciary, because remember Senator Heffernan told us
Lost confidence.
when the police find it necessary to put a judge under surveillance.
Yeah.
And of course, we know about Judge David Yeldon,
Yeah,
and because we know
Nielsen.
about Judge Hayden, the one that just left, Hayden. I forget his last name. And of course, we know about
Nielsen.
Gary Nielsen,
Yep.
who's known in the trade as Gorilla in Black
Yeah,
Lace.
he is.
Isn't that enough to make you vomit? So out of Scotch College in Melbourne, the same school that our current Attorney General goes to, we've had Will Algasgren, Chief Justice of the Family Court. Now, Whitlam invented the family court because that exacerbated and gave them actual really good supply of your children for their pedophile network. Yeah, that's what family court's all about. We have Sir John Latham, who was the Chief Justice of the High Court. Yeah, Deputy Prime Minister of Australia as well was Latham.
Was he?
Yeah.
Give him a gig. Give him another hat.
Alistair
another hat on.
Nicholson, who was the Chief Justice of the Family Court. Now, what's also interesting to note about the Family Court, we had an Attorney General named McClellan a couple of years back, right?
Yeah.
Politician, and he's seen the documents as well. After he left politics, they've now appointed him as a judge on the Family Court.
Oh, right. Just, yeah.
Now, he's seen the documents.
Needs the quotas.
Now, he's sitting on cases in the role of a judge, judging other people. He's seen the list of pedophiles. He's got no business being near any court. By the way, his father and grandfather were also politicians. Incest, the game the whole family plays.
You get it.
So, High Court justices, we've had Sir Henry Winkie, Kenneth Hayne, who was of the High Court, Sir John Latham, Sir Hayden Stark, and Sir Ninian Stevens, who was also the role of the Governor General, all out of Scotch College in Melbourne. Supreme Court justices out of Scotch College in Melbourne. Peter Buchanan, Justice of the Supreme Court. Sir Arthur Dean, Justice of the Supreme Court. Jeff Digby, Justice of the Supreme Court of Victoria. Greg Gardy, Justice of the Supreme Court of Victoria and President of the Victorian Civil and Administration Tribunal. All out of this one school. Sir Joseph Hood. Isn't that an interesting name? Sir Joseph Hood, Justice of the Supreme Court of Victoria. Stephen Kane, Justice of the Supreme Court of Victoria. William Kane, keeping it in the family, aren't they, eh? William and Stephen,
They keep it in the family.
Justice of the Supreme Court of Victoria. Clifford Menhent, Justice of the Supreme Court of Victoria. First legal president with regard to the abortion law in Australia. Yes, because they like to bump off the profane. I mean, if they can get you in the womb, even better. John Phillips, Justice of the Supreme Court. Richard Refuse, Justice of the Supreme Court. Sir Henry Winky, he appears a lot, doesn't he? He got passed around a lot. Yep, Supreme Court of Victoria.
Winky Binky.
Now, let's have a look at media. You know, because a lot of people like to watch the Idiot Box. I find that extraordinary, but a lot of people do. So let's have a look at who in the media also comes out of Scotch College in Melbourne, the same school of which our Attorney General currently, who's seen the documents, comes from, Scotch College. We have Graham Bell, a jazz musician, Rick Birch, designer of the Olympic Games opening ceremony.
Wow.
That's the money laundering, isn't it? Because they get paid millions to do that stuff. And that's the taxpayers' dollar back to the Freemason network of filth. Cretan Burns, editor of The Age newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they love to plug the Age.
Richard Davies, actor. John Ewart, AFL. Alex Frater, writer and chief travel correspondent for The Observer. Sir Ray Grounds, architect, National Gallery of Victorian and the Victorian Arts Centre. It's very important that the Freemasons control everything you see, hear and read. Russell Howcroft, ABC panellist and businessman. Alistair Knox, mud brick house designer, builder and landscape architect, all out of Scotch College in Melbourne. Mark Wong, music producer and DJ known as Marcos. Patrick McConaughey, director of the National Gallery of Victoria. Isn't it funny how they're all in public purse, you know? Nick McCallum, television and radio journalist. Campbell McComas, entertainer and impersonator. Ned Napier, actor. Ian Munro, pianist and composer. Peter Nicholson, cartoonist for The Australian. Chris Pang, actor. Andrew Probyn, journalist. Ron Radford, director of the National Gallery of Australia. Felix Riebel, lead singer of the Cat Empire. Jesse Spencer, actor. Walter Turner, writer and poet. Chris Wallace Crabb, poet and professor at the Australian Centre of the University of Melbourne. John Williamson, country music singer. I'm sure a lot of people know John.
No.
He's out of Scotch College in Melbourne. Michael Whipfly, radio presenter and comedian. Gillian He, cellist. And that's all out of Scotch College, controlling everything you see, hear and read. How many of you have sung along to John Williamson's songs, never knowing where he went to school?
Turning in the paper, mate.
Military intelligence out of Scotch College in Melbourne. Sir Julius Bruce, Chief of the General Staff. Barry Gratian, Chief of the Air Staff. Peter Gratian, Chief of the Australian Defence Force. Sir Alan McNichol, Chief of the Royal Australian Navy. Sir John Manosh, Commander of the Australian Defence Force. He also appears on the $100 note. Paul Simon, Director General of ASIO, all out of Scotch College, big Freemason school. Other military from Scotch College
he was our friend.
include Raymond Brownell, Sir Neil Hamilton Fairley, George Gardia, Major General. Oliver David Jackson, Commander of the Australian Task Force in Vietnam, organised slaughter. Robert Little, who was a World War I pilot. Something must have gone wrong there because they did actually kill him. Sir James Mackay, Lieutenant General. Sir William Refuge, Major General. Robert Smith, Brigadier General. World War I, Commander of the 5th Brigade. Sir Clive Steele, Major General. Alan Streeton, Major General, Head of the National Disaster Organisation, responsible for management and rebuilding after Darwin's Cyclone Tracy. Hugh Randall Syme, Bomber Diffuser, grandson of David Syme. Ian Upjohn, Lieutenant and Commanding Officer during the Light Horse Commander of the Australian troops in the Solomon Islands. All out of this one school, Scotch
really
College
killing me
in
here.
Melbourne.
Karen, because I'm starting to think that the only way you're ever going to make it in the world is if you're a Freemason.
That's correct. The rest of us are all struggling to make ends
We'll never
meet,
make it.
but the
We're fighting-
Freemasons never
We're
do.
fighting a rigged game.
So let's have a look at the Prime Ministers that we've had out of Scotch College in Melbourne, because after all, there is a former Prime Minister on this list and it's a police document. Sir John Latham, who was the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia. We've also had Calcott Mataskele, President of Vanuatu. Yeah, President of Vanuatu comes out of Scotch College in Melbourne. Sir George Reid, Prime Minister of Australia and also the Premier of New South Wales.
Such and such begot, such and such begot, such and such
It
begot,
is.
such and such.
Premiers of Australia out of Scotch College in Melbourne. Jim Baker, Premier of Tasmania. John Cain, Premier of Victoria. Jeff Kennett, Premier of Victoria. Sir Harry Lawson, Premier of Victoria. John McPherson, Premier of Victoria. Sir George Reid, Premier of New South Wales. William Shills, Premier of Victoria. Valburn Solomon, Premier of South Australia, all out of Scotch College in Melbourne. Cabinet Ministers out of Scotch College in Melbourne. Bill Baxter, Victorian National Roads and Ports Minister. Sir Gilbert Chandler, Victorian Cabinet Minister. Mark Dreyfus, Federal Attorney General of Australia. Every Attorney General from Philip Ruddock until now has seen these documents. They are police documents and they are very disturbing. There is a whole lot of prominent people named in these documents. So let's continue on. Ivan Greenwood, Federal Liberal Minister. Mac Holton, Federal National Minister and Administrator of Christmas Island. David Kemp, Federal Liberal Minister. Rod Kemp, Federal Liberal Minister. They're related, by the way. Sir James Kennedy, Victorian Cabinet Minister. Sir John Latham, Prime Minister and Chief Justice. Deputy Prime Minister.
Yeah, right.
John Leckie, Federal Minister. Sir James Whitside Mackay, Federal Defence Minister. James McCall, Federal Minister. Andrew Peacock, Federal Liberal Opposition Leader and the Ambassador to the United States of America. Jim Ramsey, Victorian Cabinet Minister. Andrew Refuge, Labor Deputy Premier of New South Wales. Sir George Reid, Victorian Cabinet Minister and the Attorney General, all out of this one school, Scotch College in Melbourne. Hayden Storey, Victorian Cabinet Minister. George Wise, Federal Minister and Postmaster General. George Wise was a very sinister individual. Mike Wooldridge, Federal Minister for Health. Health out of Scotch College in Melbourne. It's not about your health, folks. Other politicians and public services that arise out of Scotch College in Melbourne. John Arthur Andrews, poet and journalist. Norman Bales, Member of Victorian Parliament. Alex Buchanan, Member of the Australian Parliament. James Dunn, Member of the Victorian Parliament. James Gibb, Member of the Australian Parliament. Robert Bell Hamilton, Victorian Architect, Member for Turok, Parliament of Victoria and Mornington Shire Council. Norman Charles Harris, Engineer. Lieutenant Colonel, Victorian Railways Chairman of Commissioners, all out of this one school. It's not a coincidence. This is the network. Sir Lennox Hewitt, Senior Public Servant. James Gordon Hislop, Member of the Australian Federal Parliament. Robert Holt, Member of Victorian Parliament, Member of the Australian Federal Parliament. Ken Jasper, veteran national members for the Murray Valley in Parliament, Victoria. Sir George Knox, Speaker of the Victorian Parliament. The city of Knox is named after him, particularly filthy family. William Knox, Federal Member of Parliament. Charles Hector McFadden, Secretary for the Department of Shipping and Transport. That's how the drugs get in, because the head honcho is a Mason. Titch McFarlane, senior positions in the Commonwealth Public Service and statutory bodies. They control it all. Sir William Refuge, Director General of the Australian Commonwealth Department of Health. Charles Salmon, Member of the Australian Parliament and Speaker of the House. Sir David Smith, Official Secretary to 5 Australian Governor Generals. Sir David Smith, particularly filthy individual. Sir Kenneth Walter, Public Servant and Diplomat. And I would urge you all to go and have a look at the notable alumni list from Scotch College, and you will see an extensive amount of sports people also arise out of this school. You don't get selected to be on any team of national or state importance unless you are connected and selected by the Freemason selectors of those teams. Tune out from sports, folks. It's nothing but a Freemason demolay shit show. And you'll notice that none of our sports personalities, not one of them, have come to the fore and said anything about Senator Heffernan's speech. The Wood Royal Commission in New South Wales, the Mulligan Royal Commission in South Australia, and of course the recent Institutional and Ritual Abuse Royal Commission that we've had. How many Royal Commissions do you need to have before you start to grasp the enormity of this Freemason network and stand before your government and instruct them? We outnumber them the moment you front up. Anyway, that's Scotch College in Melbourne. Big Freemason filthy school with a well-known and well-documented history of sexual abuse inside that school, and that is where your Attorney General currently comes from.
There he goes. That's Mark Drovers here. There you go, mate. That's incredible. I'm just moving the camera over here, not to stop Karen from dropping the bombs, but just so I can sort of read the feeds while we do it at the same time.
I'm going to have some brekkie.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Thank you for cooking my brekkie.
No, my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. I'll put a bit of a song on in the background. Don't look at my password. Yeah.
How you doing? Oh, it's so lovely to meet you. You too. Oh, this is awesome.
I think this is one that Tash sent through. I'm just going to play it in the background anyway. Oh, I know. Really? You love to play games with me, don't you?
Probably that's it. I want to speak to the manager.
There's a little bit of light music in the background. You listen to the words, they're quite moving and relevant to the fight that you and I find ourselves in, Diggs. But anyway, we'll just play that in the background. It's too noisy. Thanks for being there. It's too hot for the beanie. I think it's time to get myself a new hat. This will be the nice interim hat. It doesn't lie. How did you find that Yeah, well, she only touched Scotch College, really. A couple of others, Sydney Boys Grammar School or whatever. Do they get it yet? Do they get it? It's another reason why we ask people to come down when you see the names we're up against. Yeah, we're going to need you all, mate. We're going to need you all. Yeah. And there's a lot of people talking about where and everyone's holding their ground. Yeah, that's good. But I think it's time to hit the governor's house in whichever state you're in. Just numbers. Just unite at the governor's. Let's throw it all at the governors. Throw it at them. Make them deal with it. Make them see us. They're not seeing us where they're seeing us. Said when the USA get angry, you know, they don't go to Kansas. They go to Washington, D.C. And in the meantime, if we just rock up at the governors, every chance we get, stand silent, whatever. Well, then when these other fronts come up for Michael, well, it might be if it's Auburn, Bankstown, if it's the Shrine of Remembrance in Melbourne, you know, wherever it may be in Darwin. It doesn't matter. We might as well get big numbers at the governors now and make them deal with us. We don't want to get as angry as they have in other countries. We don't want to show the bad side of us while we try to take the keys off the evil. We've got to be the very best. So, yeah, I'm asking for the very best Australians who care to come down to the governors, because it's going to take us all. And it's as dirty and deceitful as you can imagine. Your kids don't stand a chance. Mate, set them up, you know, to fly like an eagle, and they're never going to get there, mate. They're going to have their wings chopped by all these dirty mongrels and their bloody inbred children. Don't care which state, your territory you're in. I think it's time to make the governors know that we aren't happy. They're not seeing us on the streets. They're not seeing our little pop-up protests. They're not seeing our signs. They're not seeing the red end sign. They're not seeing our YouTubes. Not seeing our Rumbles, our BitChutes, our Telegrams. Front up to the governors. And I haven't made a plug for anyone. I'm happy to do this fight as long as I have to. I'll buy myself with our family here. If this is enough, we'll do it. But it'll be much more fun and then highly effective if we've got the Australians down here. Look at this bloke creeping up behind me. There you go, mate. How are you?
Good morning, Invincible.
G'day, mate. How are you? But yeah, nothing's going to save the Governor General. But we need Australians to make sure of that. All those people who are fighting for their children or are at their wits' end with their work and the paying of the bills and getting to the stage where they just absolutely feel useless. Well, at least you're bloody owned up to it, mate. They've made us very bloody useless to look after our kids, look after our families. They've made sure that you look like you're useless so that you can't, and then they can come in and protect your kids or get their claws in and make you sign a contract and you will do this. I'm not telling you you're useless, but at least you got the bloody brain power and the balls and the inner spirit to look within and say, yeah, they've made me pretty bloody useless. Why aren't you useless? Because I've got a job right here next to me, right here at the Governor General's every day. They're planning for Christmas. They're planning for New Year's. We've got a bloody thing here saying January the 6th barbecue. You really want to wait that long? Honestly, we can do it now. We can have it done by Christmas. What a beautiful Christmas. All Australia on the streets. Just like they forced us to do with those 2 Anzac days. Walk to your front door. That was pretty powerful. They're dirty scum running this world. Everyone's turning a blind eye. Otherwise, they're doomsday prepping, getting ready to hide. If this continues, no one gets to hide. And that's where you'll get to. I'm just asking if everyone can maybe pick up the pace. I don't care where you say the fight is, mate. Get to your governors. Get to your governors in Queensland, New South Wales. They're doing it in Melbourne, they're doing it in Perth. God bless you, Perth. Fucking role models. Get to your governors, mate. Every person gets to have a say to their governor and vent their fury. I'd love to hand over the mic here. I'd absolutely love to hand over the mic. I'd just love to feel the spirit of Australia come to life. We can do it. We're from good stock. It's actually our duty. We owe it to our ancestors. We owe it to everyone that walked on this land before us. Owe it to all those that bled, sweat, cried, tears. This land soaked it all up, mate. There's nothing this land doesn't know. Need backup, Diggs. Is this the epitome of God's chosen and called us? No, we're just the ones holding the line. We're waiting for you. Governor General's a traitor and a criminal. And they're about to sign you over to the New World Order. And everyone in there all went to the same bloody school and swore allegiance to the same secret society or the Bar Association. They've undermined you and they undermined me. They're unbefitting to even the name Australia. They're unbefitting to represent us, the sons and daughters of the Anzacs. They're unbefitting. They're unbefitting to have any control over any of us. They're unbefitting to represent or govern the First Nations people. Absolutely, they've proven it. And we're going to keep letting them do it. I don't care where you come from, where you were born, or how long you think you've been here, or how many generations and bloodlines. Irrelevant, mate, because he's going to keep doing it. There's no more us and them over there and if they and or whatever. There's a Governor General here. He's the representative of the enemy occupied on this territory. They are the foreign invaders. So I don't care what our little arguments are. Get to your Governor Generals. Tell him, stand down the Parliament, bring in the military. We could ask him to offer right writs for new elections, but he couldn't get the last one right. That was as fraudulent as ever. He merely witnessed it. We give him the power, what, to witness? No. That's it. The word merit, you look up Wikipedia and everything, they say they earned their position on merit. It's not what you think, people. Doesn't mean they worked their hardest and they were the best in the class. No. Doesn't mean that they excelled and were the perfect fit for the job. No. Merit means they've been, they're of the bloodline, they're of the family, they're in the crew, within the society. They earned their position on merit, which means they were selected by their own and placed there to ensure the truth doesn't get out and to ensure that they control us with the low 3D frequency of fear. You see that fear? Just put it down, let it go. Up and mate. They've got no right to do this to you, me, anyone. They mock us while they stuff us in the back or stab us in the back. Eggs. Here's a good egg, that one. Gumjo. That's all I can say. Get to your Governor Generals. It's the best way to start uniting anyway. Let's just show them how many numbers there are. We're there. Just get there. And mate, I say every day, we've got to start putting it away. Tell your stories, tell your predicaments to those around you in your community, and help each other out. Another person next to you's got the answers to the problems you're dealing with, and you've got the answer to help them with their problems. We've got everything. Our sheds are full. We've got all the bloody equipment. Yeah.
Lily.
Anyway.
Lily.
I haven't read many of your messages today, Diggs, and I apologise. There's probably a lot of intelligence, a lot of wisdom, a lot of compassion and kindness. Sharon, yeah, the photo of Kaz, Stan and Corey. Well, the AFP were complaining they didn't have a photo of Kaz. Well, she wasn't on the Cooker Watcher website, so we just quite kindly gave them one. We're not hiding, mate. We're right bloody here. That's the attitude. Front them. Let them try and think they can scare us all they like. We see your big profiles, we see your big names and all your little accoutrements and bloody letters on the front of your name and your sirs and your titles and your delusion. All I see is a bloody limp wrist and limp dicks. We can defeat them, mate. They're bloody gutless wonders. They've declared war on us and they didn't have the bloody guts to even tell you. They're just going to take it and deceive it from you. And Diggs, I'm not talking to you guys directly because you know, mate, you're more awake than I am. But like I said, we all got a different part of the puzzle. So what Karen brought. She's got the links, the directions, the connections, the schools, how they've all been groomed into these positions. She can tell them by the shape of their head. It goes deeper, Diggs. I can't go deeper with that. They'll think I'm a bloody nutter. I'm coming to terms with being a cooker. Wash, rinse, repeat. They didn't like conspiracy theorists. It wasn't working anymore. Truther. Oh, I can't have that. Truther. They'll be cooking up some truth. Right? No, let's call them cookers. Whatever. These people are resilient, relentless, and steadfast. There's a lot of brilliant, beautiful names that go to represent these people and to correctly define them. And even still, then they're outside the box. That was a very nice song there. Who was that? Veta. Not playing John, mate. Not John Butler. Where are you, John? Do you give a shit about the children? We've got two Johns we really need to talk to then. That's John Williamson and John Butler. All your freedom songs and, you know, save the world and save the oceans and stand up and be a true Australian. Well, now's your chance, mate. Where the hell are you? I'd love to play your music, mate. It's beautiful music, but it doesn't bloody condone the thought pattern or the the fact that here it is right here, the enemy's showing their face and you're not here, mate. I'd love you to be here. Yeah, anyway. What am I looking for? John Williamson, Scottish College. Are you one of them or are you one of us, mate? It's time to show your hand.
Don't say you're gone. Say you've knocked off for a smoker and you'll be back later on. Hey, true blue. Hey, true blue.
Hey, true blue.
Give it to me straight.
If you can tell the truth, that is.
Face to face. Are you really
John Williamson,
disappearing?
mate. Do you really give a
Just
shit?
another dying race.
John Williamson, do you really give a shit?
Blue, blue.
Could someone tell me how many likes they've got on their phone? Mine still only shows 17. I was a 17th like. Hit that like button, peeps, if you haven't already.
Is it a cockatoo?
I only see 17, but what a good number.
They're just standing by your mate when he's in a fight. Or will she be right? True blue, I'm asking you. Hey, true blue.
How many have hit the like button on your phone,
Can
Melissa?
you bear the
Please?
load? Will you tie it up with wire just to keep the show?
Doesn't have to be so loud, I suppose.
36 here, that's... Yeah, how many have you got hitting the like button on your phones? I've got 17 likes, that's it.
17 is a good number. Maybe
Good number,
we
yeah.
topped out at 17.
Yeah, 17 is a great number, but I see 34 likes, I agree. Yeah, go. Go, yeah. You got 36 likes. Karen's got 36 likes. Yeah. Mine like to reboot,
Do
go.
you really care?
Well, thanks for caring about our likes, mate. Yeah. Look, oh, geez, they went up quick. Look at that. Boom.
Bang.
Mate, I have to give you a bloody position in marketing, mate. Chief of Security. We need a new Chief of Security. We're going to promote this man to marketing. Under the marketing manager, PR manager.
Is it a
Few positions failed.
Oh, I've got jobs, Deeks.
when she's in a fight?
Come stand by me, mate. We're in a fight.
Or will she be
Nah, she won't be, mate. Get in here. We need a fight. She won't be right, mate.
blue?
No, mate.
I'm asking you.
I'm asking you, John. Get down here and show your cards.
Now.
Is it me?
Or are you going down with your Scottish College mates?
Is it mom and dad?
Whenever they drank scotch there.
Is it a cockatoo? Is it standing by your
Did he earn his spot on merit? Basically, merit means on your knees. Bloody on your knees, mate. Yep. Doesn't mean you're the best man for the job or you tried the hardest. No, you got on the knees the quickest and for the longest.
Go down like that.
You suck the pole Oh, bloody hair on your knees, mate.
Well, mate, has anyone ever watched the actual Mortar of Australia ceremony? I watched one with David Hurley recently, mate.
Yeah.
That's how I decoded him as a fucking, at least a Royal Arch Mason. Yeah. And that is actually a who's who of who's being elevated through the Masonic positions. He's being honoured. The Masons that are being honoured, brother. Go and watch it.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Some people he makes the hand sign too. Some people he doesn't.
Oh, it's a piss week, buddy.
No, this is their
makes
favourite one.
Yeah.
So that was Hurley, mate.
Yeah, that was him, yeah.
Right, left-hand path, Royal Arch.
Yeah, I gotta be. Yeah, I don't know these hand signs, and you might do them accidentally, but
Yeah, I know.
Well,
That is
because in the
deliberate.
military, you put your hands like that, or you put your hands like that, don't you? It's the same
Absolutely.
sign.
I'm like that all the time. I'm comfortable. That's what I do.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean if it's a natural reaction, right?
Theirs
You
is
do it
very
all the time.
exaggerated, yeah.
The guy's doing it deliberately though, because he doesn't do it every time either. This is the other thing. Every person, and you watch the people that present to him, right? Some of those people make signs to him as well. Right?
Mate, yeah.
So this is the thing. And the same thing can be picked up in the last post ceremony at the War Memorial, which I've witnessed with my own eyes, mate, and also documented. I've got the fucking hand signs. I've got different sponsors giving different, very definite hand signs for their candidates. They're being presented again to be elevated through a Freemasonic system. Watch the ritual, man. It's fucking scary at the end. I think it goes a lot deeper than what you just see, but I don't want to explain that today. It's a lot darker too.
It is, mate, because I felt the pit of that darkness.
Yeah,
And I tried to climb out real quick.
yes, brother.
So what I do is I just trust everyone's strengths and weaknesses on it, and we're all connected in this common cause, united.
Yeah.
But yeah, mate. So yeah,
I know, I've been there, mate.
I know, mate. That's why I take your word, because I know how hard you study.
It's not studying, mate. It's boots on the ground. I've been there. I've been right inside the ceremony.
Yeah,
I've connected with the shit. I know what's in there, mate. No, I'm not. But I'm just stating plainly so people understand it's not just fucking theory.
No, it's not, mate. No,
I've got the research to back it up, mate. But I'm boots on the ground, man. I'm fucking boots on the ground. I have to be.
Yeah. No, as well, you can, just someone who commands respect, mate. Through deeds, through actions.
Yeah, we are here. Praise the Lord. And the only reason I act is because I walk by faith, just like you do, brother.
Yeah, mate.
Ultimately, that's the path forward, mate.
Freemasons, they just act on stage.
Yeah, and they act according to their agenda. They're very ritualised, very structured, very agendarised people, man. And they work toward a very definite end, even though they have different paths. They're all playing on the same board and they're all working toward the same end, the building of the fucking temple, man.
Just on a lighter note, I've just got to show the digs this. No, look at this, mate. He's missing half a hat. He got hungry, mate, ate it with tomato sauce. You hungry, mate? You want some breakfast? You don't need your straw hat, mate. Come on. He probably, as I said, breakfast. Look at that. He's eating dry bread, mate, and half of a straw hat.
So guess who we found on our adventure, man?
No.
We found Sovereign Swan with his family, with his mate and two signets. They're coming around. They may even come around.
Maybe he's right on time. No, we'll bring Sov down.
Yeah,
He's right there in his little peephole.
He had his mate with him today.
He's the protector of my toothbrush there, where is he? Oh, down here. Oh, there he is. Yeah. You keep my toothbrush safe. Actually, I won't even hide that toothbrush. Hang on. Put that in my little case.
Sorry, Stacey, he wasn't a lieutenant.
Who, Dan?
You.
Me? No, I wasn't a lieutenant, no. I worked for a living.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't comment.
Yeah, no. I was non-commissioned.
No, you're Lieutenant Dan, dude.
But he ain't got no legs. I got legs.
I just reckon Stacey's talk crap. My opinion.
what you color, as long as you a true fella, as long as you.
So even just taking the flag out for a walk this morning in Australia. Got to meet a lot of bike riders and people that are running and walking. It's really good, man. Go out and engage with the community, you get a lot more positive responses than negative. And the negative responses are more just smart jibes at the flag being upside down and things like that. This only gives you an opportunity to respond as to why it's that way and call them to action. I don't take their offence and their insults personally, I just try to call it. If they're insulting me, it means at least they're engaged. If they ignore you, well then you know you're just not getting through, right? So when you get a positive reaction or a negative reaction, at least the person is engaged, and that's what we're trying to do. Engage the public, making it aware. And there are more and more people becoming aware of what we do, what we stand for, what the flag means. Because the people go out every day and talk to them on a personal basis, talk to them as a group. It's awesome. It's really what has to happen at this point, because otherwise Australia won't wake up. And it just won't wake up, mate. The fog is too thick. Yes, we need more brothers. That's it, man.
We do, mate.
More sisters. That's it.
There you go. Cute. Are you the ones gonna stand up?
Yes, time.
It is, mate.
Yeah,
Summertime.
it's bloody oath. Race play.
I look forward to having time to just sit back and do those things. Absolutely.
I try to make time for it. Part of my stability.
Oh, yeah, mate. Yeah. Yours is quite nice to listen to in the evenings.
Read back positive, back into your spirit.
Oh, sorry, mate. We're out of Christmas. No, I took it this morning. I was going to have something to say. No, that's all right.
Stand up and get together. Stand up today.
Stand up and be counted. Are you the one who's always ready with
For another time. All right. I'm going to put that down there. That's out there. I'm going to get ready to take that. I can't find Fiona. She was going to take Sovereign. Oh, there she is, over there. Oh.
Big rolling foxes. Big rolling foxes. Yeah, baby, that's what you do.
Any authorisation locally pumped and he's authorised for instance, if you come onto my farm and say you're not vaccinated, and if we get kids there, they can take them and they can say, well, we can.
How was that for you? We better move on. I've got it on there.
That never hurt. Have you got your proclamation gone? Back to my phone and Apple.
Brisbane.
Oh, everyone. It was actually a very nice message.
And then I'm looking at these people and the people and with the, and all the duck fuckers. It's good. I see two ducks coming. And then I see all the ducklings behind them. I can't give it.
You good security?
About them on the down. We're heading down. That one there, if you want it. So between that one, you can hold up. I've got the digs. That should be all right. Oh, it's just that. I was just looking for someone who might take the speaker. There we go. I've got everything. We've got them right. Yeah. I haven't got the second phone yet. It'll probably be a Wednesday jobby. Really looking forward to it. Actually, more capable with the other second phone. Yeah. We'll just see how we go next week anyway. We've got the Freedom Front War Room channel, and there's a lot of good stuff that you guys are putting on there. So I'd like to have a segment each morning where I'll start and we'll just go through those telegrams. And not only that, then the stuff that you guys want to, put up on the feeds, well, I could read it straight off Telegram, the links and that you have. Oh, I know, mate. I won't leap forward without you. The owner's got little Sovereign there. Sovereign and his two little Cygnets. Oh, almost lost it. There we go. Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah, sometimes it's better just to let it all go and just talk for real. But yeah, we can't wait for all these fronts to unite and say it's going to be here and there. Because, mate, once it's on, I know we're ready to move. We're ready to rock on to get to the front. But in the meantime, I think it's just people. The best thing people can do is get to their government house and say no more. And I reckon people around the nation will beat us to it because Canberra, mate, 95% fully asleep and not willing to even look at it. Mind you, there's top 60% of the Freemasons are here in Canberra.
High-level Freemasons.
Yeah, all the high-level Freemasons are here. Oh, I've got a mozzie on my face. Hang on. Either mozzie or a straight hair or something, I don't know. I'm in the same clothes as I did yesterday, so I've probably got about 100 flies on my back. But I'll do me washing and have a shower tonight and
Fresh new digs for tomorrow. Fresh new clothing. Just how we roll here. Days roll into one.
Last time I watched for me, I've got a pair of your underwear in my phone.
No, really?
So you got another pair.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool.
Get away with another day without one.
Oh, they've dumped a heap of mulch out here. They're building a wall. It's all right, we'll get over it. Even had to move a rock.
We'll build a bridge.
We will. I'm going to show Karen the sign down here, the Infinity Park, Infinity symbol, and the reason for its creation in the first place.
Talking about doing cemetery walk.
Yeah.
Sent me text. Can you let Karen know I really want to do it? I can't be there till Wednesday. Oh, I've sent to Karen afterwards.
I'll let you wander down. I'll wait here for him.
No worries, brother.
Oh, mate, they're miles away. Oh, well, this is a nice little shady spot just to pull up for a second and see how you's all going. From my experience, there are quite a few that didn't take any, and that was just because it was down to their supervisor or manager. If they did it, if the manager didn't, none of their staff did. Okay. Last Pinster, you put, I think you sent a message through from a Crash, was it? Crash? I read that message and I'm taking it as constructive criticism, and I'm going to actually go in that line of thought. As much as we love our little possums, I've been known to, well, not known, but let's say that sometimes you can accidentally kill things with kindness. So, yeah, fruit, maybe sugary fruit, not always the best and probably not good for them. Removing seeds, yeah. So I'm going for a new theory today. We either leave them alone and don't feed them, but today I am going, I've bought beans, fresh beans. But thanks for the message from Crash. It was very nicely written and I enjoyed reading it. And there's definitely a lesson there, mate. I'm pretty sure it was you, last Pinster, who put it up there for me. Am I zoomed in or out? All right. I'll show you this sign down here, Karen. Oh, yeah. These are the cork trees we're moving through now.
Beautiful place to stand and use your voice.
Well, we're about to read the sign that says it's exactly what it was created for. Just keep an eye out for snakes and things. There has been a sighting of...
Most of them can be found in Parliament House.
Yeah.
Because the head of the snake is always at the home of the governor. Head of the snake is always at the gate of the governor. That's the head of the snake. The governor is the chair of the executive council. If you don't know what your executive council is, that's your parliamentary cabinet ministers.
Right.
A lot of people say, the premiers are just puppets.
Come this way. Yep.
Yes, they are. Who's the puppet master is the question you should be asking.
Yeah.
Well, the puppet master is your governor.
The hamlet.
So front up at the face of the enemy, look them in the eye and instruct them. That's what's required. Your voice must be heard. The only way to do that lawfully is you must physically present to your governor and instruct them. That's how it's done. You must stand and use your voice, Anzac. The governors have every right to ignore every petition and letter. What they cannot ignore is your physical instruction to them.
Yes.
Which is why you have to front up. Is this it?
This is it. You read that, that'll tell you we're in the right place. It's exactly what it's designed for.
Lifeline. Established March 1963. Trees, 2 groves, each laid out in the pattern of a lifeline symbol. were planted by the National Capital Authority,
Yeah.
citywide, and Richard Rolfe, OAM. Oh, Order of Australian
Yeah, I
Molestation.
know. Just it's there.
To commemorate Lifeline's 50th anniversary. Lifeline was established by Reverend Dr. Sir Alan Walker. It's one of the Masons.
Yeah.
Superintendent of the Central Methodist Mission, Sydney, now the Wesley Mission, on the 18th of March 1983, receiving a call from a distressed man who later took his life. Well, he wasn't much help then, was he?
No, he wasn't. No.
Since then,
I made this
the
to show you how much.
organisation has offered a compassionate ear and help to all Australians in crisis. That is a lie.
Yes.
The Lifeline is actually a dossier gathering information centre, especially for whistleblowers, and they encourage you to ring them first so that they can refer you to a Freemason psychiatrist and so they can drug you up to the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Since then, the organisation has offered a compassionate ear and to help Australians in crisis. Well, it's not working, is it?
It's not
2022 and we're all in crisis.
Well, they didn't even help the first bloke.
These trees commemorate the long-standing contribution to the Australian community. They are symbols, it's a Freemason word. They are symbols of the life, help, hope and resilience brought to those in despair. May they always stand tall and proud and provide a safe and nurturing place for anyone at any time. Wow, filth, Lifeline.
May they stand
First
tall and
person
strong
he
in
tried
the
to
top.
help did himself in.
I know, but we will stand tall and proud and let them know right here in this garden.
It tells you right there, OAM.
Yep,
Freemason.
no, that's right.
Got to go and have a chat with David Hurley.
Yeah, let's go say good day to Mr. Hurley.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I'll give him a message. He hasn't been told yet. He likes to be told every day, apparently. Oh, perfect conditions. It looks like perfect conditions.
For people that want to come and have a front row seat.
Yeah.
No different tap started.
Nice. Look at you go. Professional. You're now a mechanic. What? You're now a mechanic. I've beaten many panels. Usually they're out of shape, not into shape. Just anyone up behind if they just want to hold it, or if any say they can put it down if they like. Check the radio. I'm just going to make sure it's not playing. Yeah, thank you. Should I stop? Yeah. You want me up here or down there? No, just there. I'm not sure how song's going to go. You're calling her and you didn't want to run past it. Good morning, Jeff. I might just sit in the side. I shouldn't go. All right, we got him? Cool. Hello. We got him? Awesome. Shot's got him. Have the guts. Morning, Hazel.
Good morning.
I liked the message yesterday.
Did you?
I did like your message.
Yeah. Did you get the full one from Corey?
Not about the full one.
Did you show the full one?
I thought you sent him the same one, so I didn't bother sending it to him. But I will after we finish here this morning.
Oh, well,
Philippines have a volunteer to read the ode, a New Zealand or Australian person to read the ode for us.
Crazy dog.
Sorry, brother, you know I won't read.
No, I know that.
Oh, hello. I need to rewrite it. Let's give it to him. Double barrels today. That's all there set up. I've got to organise the camera. Look at me. Look at me. I don't want to miss anyone's speeches. Suppose the 28 up the back. Thanks there for that one. The camera can see it from here quite pretty clearly.
Yeah, son's there, wrapped up on the cord. And good morning, everybody. Good morning, Governor General! Everyone can please move forward, be upstanding and remove headdress. Pay our respects to those before us, those who paid the ultimate sacrifice and won our freedom, and therefore ensuring the sanctity of the children that these people try to take away as their own. Stand fast! They run with songs in the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eyes, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall not growl as we the left growl. Age shall not weary down, nor the years condemn. And the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Impersonators on location. Yeah. Governor General David Hurley! As the Governor General of this nation, this letter is a direct appeal from an ever-growing cohort of true patriot men and women of Australia. We call on you to action the public reveal of the unredacted findings in the police report of the Royal Commission 1995-1997. The Royal Commission is catalogued with the Police Integrity Commission, resulted in suppressing 28 names of alleged paedophiles of prominent stature. These include judges, elected officials, and an ex-Prime Minister and others frighteningly enough. The Australian government and Parliament has made no attempt to undo the suppression of these 28 names for our supposed safety and well-being is unacceptable. Revisited again in 2015 to then Senator Bill Heffernan. Delivered the same request for the findings to be released to the public. As the Senator stated, it's not so much a secret that's a problem, which it is, but it's when a group of people such as the 28 names on that list keep each other's secrets. Further into his appeal, he quoted the judge of the day. The judge stated, we, not I, we, decided not to revisit that issue because the public will lose confidence in the judiciary. Governor General, we've been proclaiming to you for nearly 10 months now. We ask for one thing, those are 28 names you're protecting. We've lost confidence in the judiciary, lost confidence in Parliament and you. We're now asking you to stand down Parliament. Nothing can save you now, Governor. Stand down, government, and let the military take over. We trust our brothers and sisters in arms from here, not you. You can issue the writs for a fresh election, but you couldn't get the last one right. We, the men and women of Australia, also require the person honoured with the position of Governor General to uphold the requirements of the Governor General and ask why he continues to allow the heavy odor rates of police against people who peacefully protesting is our protected rights. We've had no
freedom of speech, fully censorship on all issues, and that alone makes all your elections fraudulent. Just a reminder, Governor, it is us, the men and women of Australia, who you serve. Stand down, Parliament. Let the military take over. You can try and issue writs for elections. But be sure, we've all lost confidence in you. This is a call for the men and women of Australia.
Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. For the job, never wore my 2 years ago. I said we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They read it again. I know we can't shoot you, said you can, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They breaking the roads, breaking the law, back up the spirit now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They snatched my car and knocked me up for the man on bail, and I'm still here. They try so hard. We try not laugh. They turn my car, the next day it's back in the same car park. These cops ain't smart, I'ma make a drop this charge. Son, you watch, we take it back to start. No D's, no titles, no trespass. Now we charge you, tables to turn. We can't remove all the assaults, all the abuse. Nobody gonna cut you, stop that. Yeah, who at the door? Makadar, bring on the storm, fly with the epic, four with the door, regroup and come back to the front lawn. Yeah, we're still here, still ain't got no fear. We won't cry, still ain't shed no tear. The sense that we still here. Is that all you got? We take on you more. We unite. You don't call the shots. Sovereign's been here all along. And they're still here. Yeah, they're still here. Return of the sovereign, but they never left. They're still here. Yeah, they're still here. Yeah, they're still here. The oldest civilization. This been how many years? They're still here. Need your support for the new way this war is fought. Our worry for the law and in June income bore accords. Gotta cut out the cancer. Yeah, that's what the plans are. Walk with the elders. They get the law. We get the numbers. That is the answer. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Never got a job. Never wore a mask 2 years ago. Past them, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raided the camps. Don't know the camps. 50% camp, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They're breaking the roads, breaking the law. That time we're still now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and knocked me up with a man on bail, and I'm still here. They see us come, we see them run. Now we are one, free our daughters, free our sons. Yeah, they're getting scared. Front line, the bed, I'm there. Even when we're gone, our spirit lives on. Yeah, we ain't going anywhere. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Never got a job, never wore a mask. 2 years ago, past them, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raid at the camp. Don't know the camp. 2 kicks at the camp, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They breaking the roads, breaking the law. By time we're still now, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here.
You said they would, mate. You said they would.
And knock me up with a man on bail, and I'm still here.
Yes. Yes. Woo, woo, woo. Sovereign Swan. Woo.
For the children.
Yes.
For the sanctity of children.
Family. It's a family, man. It's two. Sovereign Swan's got his mate.
That's a good sign, Dan.
It is.
That's awesome. We found them over there, man. They
Save
came to
highlight.
talk to us. We're right over on the other side there where the pine trees are, and they come over.
They would have a sign. Governor, is it?
Hang on, so turn the switch on.
There you go.
Governor, I'm not here to ask you for anything.
over and sworn in his family.
I am here to instruct you. My name is Karen. I have lost confidence in the government. I instruct you to dissolve the federal parliament and issue the writs for fresh elections. I know about your Freemason demorlay inbred network of filth. Jigs up, Governor. We know. Further, I instruct you. I want all the documents. Senator Heffernan produced to the Royal Commission, released to the people unredacted. These things are not up for negotiation. And we will be here every day until you do as instructed. Jigs up, Pharaoh. We know. We see you now. Do as you have been instructed, or we will be here again tomorrow.
Does anyone else have something they want to say?
Where'd that come from?
If anyone wants to, please move forward and please help. We're asking, we're basically asking everyone in the country to start attending to their governor's house as the place to make their demands and to relent their fury. And yeah, we're starting here. So anyone who wants to say something, please feel free to relent the fury of the Governor General.
Governor, the excremency. My name is Joel. I've lost confidence in the government. I instruct you to dissolve the federal parliament and issue the writs for fresh elections. Further, I want all the documents Senator Heffernan produced to the Royal Commission, released to the people, unredacted. These two things are not up for negotiation. We will be here every day until you do as instructed.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's exactly where we're getting to, mate. No, I know.
Governor General David Hurley. Governor General David Hurley. My name is Hazel. I have lost confidence in the government. I instruct you to dissolve the federal parliament and issue the writs for a fresh election. Further, I want all the documents Senator Heffernan produced to the Royal Commission, unredacted, immediately. These two things
are not up for negotiation. We will be here every day until you do as instructed.
I've got you on a short leash. Sorry, mate.
So we're here today for the truth, David Hurley. The truth before God Almighty. The truth amongst the men and women of Australia. We're not here for cunningly devised fables. We're not here to follow the rudiments of the world or the wisdom of men. We're here to understand the will of God and to understand the truth about the corruption in this nation, the darkness, the spiritual wickedness in high places. That is the true source of the affliction that has come upon the people of Australia. Affliction and bondage. The cheapening of their human lives to the point where they are just cattle bought and sold on the international market. Experimented on, farmed, commercialised, institutionalised, corporatised. And when they've no further use for us, you throw us away, you cast us away. We will not be cast away. We will stand here in the truth of God Almighty. And we will not be cast away, and we will not stand down. Because we're here by faith. Some of us are here by faith. In fact, all of us are here by faith. Something you people don't really understand because you have lost your connection to the true and living God a long time ago. It's only through faith in the Lord God Almighty that anyone can stand in this hour against so much darkness, so much deception, so much wickedness, so much blood. The blood cries out from the ground against your murderous, traitorous government. The blood of Australians, living men and women, free citizens of this country, that you slay with impunity and indignity. All that blood on your hands. We come to you with even more blood, greater blood than that. We come to you with the blood of Jesus Christ. And all that blood that was shed cannot even amount to the beginning of a drop of the worth of the blood of Jesus Christ. And that's where we gain our victory. Those who trust in the blood will be absolved from their guilt from this blood that's been shed in this nation. But you reject Jesus Christ, and you will pay, and you will atone, and you will account for the blood that you shed, the blood of Australians. You will atone with your own soul and your own blood because you refuse to bow the knee to the Lord Jesus Christ, and you refuse to be covered by the blood of the Lamb, which taketh away the sin of the world. For whatsoever is born of God, whatsoever, that's where I come in. I'm not even a whosoever, I'm just a whatsoever. But the Bible says in 1 John chapter 5, for whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. Past tense, if you're born of God, you've already overcome the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. For who is he that overcometh the world? But he that believeth that Jesus is the Son of God. This is he that came by water and blood. Even Jesus Christ, not by water only, but by water and blood. And it is the Spirit that beareth witness, because the Spirit is truth. For there are three that bear record in heaven: the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost. And these three are one. And there are three that bear witness in the earth: the Spirit, and the water, and the blood. And these three agree in one. If we receive the witness of men, the witness of God is greater. For this is the witness of God, which he hath testified of his Son. He that believeth on the Son hath the witness in himself. That's why there are so many empty people here in this world. They have no witness of their fellowship and their reconciliation to God, because they will not believe on the name of the Son of God. And so they are empty, no witness here on the earth, nothing for the glory of God, and no witness in heaven to say that they belong there. Well, this is the witness of God, which he hath testified of his Son. He that believeth on the Son of God hath a witness in himself. He that believeth not God hath made him a liar. Who will dare? Because he believeth not the record that God gave of his Son. And this is the record, that God hath given to us eternal life. And this life is in his Son. He that hath the Son of God hath life. And he that hath not the Son of God hath not life. And that's where the battle line is drawn. That's where your faith comes into it. If you really want to stand in the truth, then you need to stand with the Spirit of truth. And he bears witness that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, and that he is the gift of eternal life to reconcile every man, woman, and child to God, so that they can live forever in the joy and the love of God Almighty. And that is a faith that you deny, and your Satanian system would take away from these people. And that is the faith wherein we stand this day. Would you pray for us, brother?
Yes.
Lord our God, we give thanks and praise like we do on our Sunday. The seventh day you rested and paid of even part of the commandments. But this is a war. Forgive us, but we give full thanks and praise to you. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us, but we'll definitely hold them accountable. Deliver us from all evil. Deliver us from the evil ones. For the power and the kingdom and the glory is yours, now and forever. Lord God, hear our prayer.
Governor General, Senator Heffernan told us every Attorney General from Philip Ruddock until now has seen these documents. That includes Mark Dreyfus, who was formerly the Attorney General, and Governor General, you just appointed him again. The buck begins and ends with you, Governor. Whilst it may have been a clever move to remove constitutional studies from schools in the 70s, there are some of us Anzacs that go digging. You see, Governor, I know the buck begins and ends with you. You appointed Mark Dreyfus just now as the Attorney General, and he has seen those documents. It doesn't say much for you, Mr. Hurley. Well-known acquaintance of Frank Arkell, the former paedophile mayor of Wollongong. Oh yes, David, I know your past. Do as you have been instructed, or we will be here again tomorrow with more.
Thank you very much.
Do your job, Hurley.
Come on, David Hurley. Enough's enough.
Pull your finger out. Where's the white flag?
Problem is, they're fucking hoping on me. Waiting for to get up to the public.
We'll finish on this, mate.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Was grace that taught my heart to feel, and grace my fears relieved. Our precious King, the grace of thee, the hour I first believed. Through many days We have already found. Was grace that brought us saved us and grace we believe us when we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining out the sun. We know God's days to sing God's praise. And when we fast, we go. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but was blind, but now I
think you really rude, David Hurley. Really rude.
Corey's wondering whether there's writing on the roof.
In that day, like the outside, the wall, who closed it? So they was angry with me, my angels turned away. Yeah, comforts me. Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid, for the Lord Jehovah is my strength and my song. He also become my salvation. Therefore with joy shall you draw water out of the wells of salvation. In that day you shall say, praise the Lord. Call upon his name. Declare his doings among the people. Make mention of his name. I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne. The book written in the book of that Christ, who is the 7th seal. elders saith unto me, weep not, behold the lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne, and in the midst of the beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb that had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God, set forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat on the throne. And he taken the book before beasts, and the 4 and 20 elders fell down before the lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy, take the book, and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood, out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. And hast made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. And I beheld, I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the priests, and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of thousands, saying with a loud voice, Worthy is the Lamb that was slain, to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honour and glory and blessing. And every creature which is in heaven and on the earth and under the earth, and such as are in the sea, and all that are in them, heard I say, blessing and honour and glory and power be unto him that sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb forever and ever. And the said, Amen. And so the elders fell down and worshipped him. Amen.
Who would save a wretch like me?
I would. The lover of your soul.
Oh, thank you. While you were reading that, Freya took off my hat, mate. And then she's looking at me like, you coming? Like,
yeah, she was.
So we're in for it, mate. Yeah. I'll go have a look at the possums. Had me fishing by the dog. How we going, Diggs? Yeah, it's Sunday. We'll get back into all the deep stuff again on Monday. Oops, over here this way. Sorry, we'll get into the shallow stuff again tomorrow. We're in the deep stuff today. Yeah, damn Governor General. Anyway, let's see how possums are. How are you, little possums? Yes, mate. I guess so. How are you? All right? You doing all right? Yeah, they're very comfortable. They don't really need our help. They're doing fine without us. But we appreciate a little look at them. I saved a couple of beans from Laura's beans. She gave me some beans. I had some, most of them. I saved a couple. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, where's the camera gone? Got 2 little beans. I'm going to put them up there, right? They're probably better off if I don't help them or touch them at all. But there's some beans there anyway. And we'll get them farting. All right, let's get back. And I'd like to take the rest of the day off, I think. Anyway, I'll take off. Yeah, yeah, I say it's Sunday. We'll pick up all that proclamation stuff again on Monday, tomorrow. But yeah, I see where Karen's going, but I brought it back to Sunday a little bit, but we'll continue down that stream tomorrow. Up the guts, we'll risk the snakes. Brown snake's been seen in this area a bit lately. It's probably the same one, resident. We got some good sun again yesterday. Enjoying laying back in the sun. Almost makes you feel like you work for a living, and then you're getting a little bit of holiday each day as well. Work for a living, but this has become the life, the living. This has become everything. Wouldn't it be a beautiful thing for a nation to stand as one and get the job done? How unifying it would be, how patriotic, how glorifying it may be to God to see his people all gather as one in his name for the sanctity of the children. Stand them down on that fact alone. But I think it starts at the Governor Generals. Get to the governors. We know that he's got no jurisdiction, no power of authority, but it's still the most visual, overt sight we can do. And that means we don't all have to come to Parliament House, where we're not welcome at all. Until the real front in the fight shows itself, I think everyone should just be at the Governor General's stands in the parks, Governor General's protest walks up the main streets. No, get to the governors, take it all to the governors, make it all the governors' bloody problems. They're the ones that are lying. Most deceitful position. not sure I'll be hanging around too much later today. I think I'll just go seize the day, like these two people are doing here now. Are they doing renos, or is that a house? Specsavers, mate, Specsavers. How are you, mate? That's right.
No, I was going to go.
Oh, you're to there, right?
You would have dropped the camera or something, though. You would have went
No,
the ball.
not me,
You
no.
would have went the ball.
Yeah, just about hit him in the eye too.
Oh my God, my freaking eyes.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll push it on tomorrow. Yeah, get into the real proclamation stuff.
They've got standard instructions. But they must come forward.
Go, Karen. You'll be right, Karen. You'll grow on me.
Yeah. Disappointed with the fact that he got a little spiritual down there.
Yeah, he gets into it.
No,
Where it comes, you can see it's coming from him, though. He had to walk
Well,
away. But
he's more talking to everybody else.
Yeah.
To claim the gun. Oh, well, no, I've done all mine. I've done all I can. And I'll continue.
Yep, we all will, bro.
I don't save everyone.
NFSE.
No single person saves everyone.
Capital letters, NFSE. Never fucking surrender ever. Whoops, sorry. But it's true. Whew. Could be another river day today, I think.
It'd be a nice day for it, mate.
It's too hot days. Yeah. We do it when we do it, mate. A lot of rallies that were nice and warm up on the hill the early days.
Well, mate, I can't imagine having a summer. Like, I feel like February was almost winter again.
Well, it was.
Yeah, it was a hot summer in Perth, 45-degree days.
Oh, yeah.
And then I came across the borders over here, and it was cold. It was winter.
Yeah. You know, we started February like a lot of others. You get home accommodation and turn the aircon on to cool the cabin down, and by the middle of 9 o'clock the sun will be turning fucking heat on.
Yeah.
You carry that all the way.
Thank you, Mikhail. I almost forgot about it.
We're happy with the seats.
Thank you.
That's a good buddy word. Hope you change hands.
Good morning, mate. How are you? Nice dress, beautiful dress. Very summertime. Oh, did you? Oh, did you really? Yeah.
Be heavier if they were real round.
Well, I'll get you a meat pie to go with it then. There you go. That's nice. No, I don't know if it's too big or not. Yeah.
No, it's not. I thought it might have been a little bigger than I think sometimes. Come back. Walk. Oh. Getting warm now, Dan.
It is, yeah. It's going to be a beautiful day. I'm going to slowly start packing up and go make the most of it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Just wait for the kettle to be boiled. How's your day been? Probably should tune out very quickly so I let you guys can go home and I'll go do what you like to do on your Sunday, because you guys are so dedicated. Sometimes I really feel like if I didn't tune out, you'd be there all day helping, watching, supporting. Yeah, it was a good day, Lily. Sorry, I keep meaning to catch up with you on that one. Good on you, mate. 3 years experience. Trigger City. Yeah, I've been triggered a few times. Almost triggered now. State governors will do. Just let them see us standing. See you soon until you hear us whisper, we're here, we're here. And when you say we're here, you'll hear that kettle boil. You'll hear that kettle boil and that barbecue crackling.
You good, brother? Just having a chat with the digs, are you? Almost there, yeah. Oh. There you go. Get the umbrellas out. So you're getting really hot, aren't you? Yeah. Come in on this side. It was so hot.
I don't know how I'm going to survive this summer. I'm barely coping with this. Oh. Well, I found the last maybe 2 years, like I've loved summer, but I mean, I don't spend some hours or anything like that.
need any more water cooked? Anybody?
I think that's just boiled, correct?
Yeah, it's well cooked before.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Might have to get myself a palm tree. Sit on that. Doesn't have to be big.
Where is it? Mm. Adjusting the tripod.
Man's work.
There we go.
Look at Paul carrying it.
A bit higher or upper.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, you can take it.
Good morning, Pam. How you doing? Fantastic cantaloupe. You're all happy, eh?
No, I wasn't taking it anywhere, bro. Just raise the legs up a bit.
Give him something to
Yeah.
look at, yeah.
I was looking for the winder. It's not there.
No, I've lost the winder.
Ah.
It's in the car somewhere. That car eats everything, mate.
It's like my filing cabinet. Somewhere in the car.
Set your thing over the bridge to.
Thank you. Yeah.
Off it.
That's what I was trying to do.
It sort of wants some air as well. You can't. That's how I go with the trailer, can you?
Sure, I can.
He's had a lovely day.
You too, mate. Thank you. Oh, yeah, he has he?
Yeah. Because he saw his friend.
He did. That was incredible, wasn't it? Paul knew they were coming too.
That guy's all right.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
all right.
Paul knew, yeah, psych Paul.
I enjoyed having Sovereign Swan and then having the swans come past.
Yeah, you wouldn't read about it, would you?
I wonder if they noticed Sovereign Swan. What's he doing hanging with them?
Are you right?
Yeah, good.
They were right on time, the swans, right on time. Karen's got the goss, that's for sure.
Oh my goodness me, what can I say? Oh my goodness me, that's kind of like, I will never, I never did before, but never. Every breath you take, enjoy it.
Are you aware that there was a millions and millions of dollars go out to different committees and parliamentary institutions for another crack at constructing a referendum for the Republic the Australians would, oh actually no, for local government. For local government, the Australian people would be more likely to pass than the previous two referendums directly on local government. So that was in 2013, 2014, millions of dollars spent. But there's no record of another referendum. Yeah, the last referendum for local government was 1988. Yeah. And then 1977.
You're here for 10 more minutes? Yeah. And you?
And then they tried.
I'm just going to go and have a look at this before I go.
Credence to local government and several other referendums that gave legitimacy to the local government receiving Commonwealth funds, that sort of thing. All of those rejected by the people of Australia. All of them. Yeah.
What was that last referendum, Paul? You remember?
Which one?
1988.
Was the referendum for local government.
Oh,
yeah. The last referendum that's listed on the table is 1999, which is a referendum for the Republic.
That's right, but it wasn't.
And once again, the people of Australia said no, we do not want the Republic. Right. We do not want local government. We don't believe it should even be funded. Yeah, cool. We don't even believe it should be funded. That was one of the referendums prior to the actual call for local government. The people of Australia didn't even want local councils and local government to be funded by the Commonwealth. They wouldn't even agree to that. Because that adds a lot of legitimacy, at least on a corporate level. And to this day, local government, local councils still having trouble getting funding directly from the Commonwealth government because they're not a legitimate constitutional entity. Got no right to government money, basically. Got no right to the people's money.
Yeah.
And that was the people's voice. At least 4 referendums where we stuck our finger up back at them, no local government. Don't fuck with their shit.
Yeah.
Because it gives them too much power then. But if you look on the other side of it, you find that the Australian Parliament has actually, or the Australian government has actually been trying to push local government as the 3rd tier of government. And in fact, that will become one of the primary structures of government. Will be elevated, the local government will be elevated because it will answer directly to the UN structure, right? If we allow them to push the fucking Republic through the way they want.
Yeah.
The way they're gearing, they already are.
Okay?
We can become CCP.
Yeah, fully, man.
The way they're
CCP come here, we go there.
Yeah.
You buy us, well, we buy you.
That's what I said.
They're already taking UN money and following UN structures. They're already there.
Exactly, brother. In everything but fucking but words, basically. All the deeds are, all the networks are already constructed. All the deeds are being done exactly.
They're accepting UN policies and signing on UN policies. I look around here, like these smart divisions going in, subdivisions, smart cities.
Fully.
They're prisons.
Fully.
That one they're building at Jarrah. That one they're building at Jarrah. There is one way in, one way out. So every one of those states has dams near the entrance.
That's the concern, brother.
Sporting fields is this the right location? Schools, administration buildings.
All of yours is a new system, mate.
And if you think you're going to push on the gates, well, you got dams to swim across. An obstacle like that.
Deter the average droid because they're used to interacting with the virtual world, not dealing with the real world.
Corey's got some if you need
Out there, there's
Oh, no,
no
I'm all right,
reason
but
why
yeah,
they can't put
I've
another
got some
road directly
a
into
little
you.
tiny bottle.
Just for the sake of a firestorm flowing through.
Yeah, fully.
One road.
So literally, yeah, your cars can only come in and out. They control traffic. They control most people's independence because the car and the ability to fucking drive in this country wherever you want is our last vestige of independence.
No, yes, right. I'm just going to get this right here.
Walk out of those spots if you want to do.
Yeah, there you go, because of that.
They can control it.
Yeah, that's
They're
right.
geared up, so you look and you go, there's a bit of bush right
There'd
there.
be a boundary that would probably, as you say, quite easy to patrol, quite well delineated, with a lot of natural obstacles. And yeah, quite easy to send the fucking cars around occasionally. Yeah.
We'd want to be really good to make it over the next hill.
Well, then we better get really fucking good, mate, because we need to make it over the next hill.
When it goes down, don't be in that truck to begin with.
Yeah, brother. You have to be mobile and start with. That's the other thing. As I say, the last vestige of our independence.
Yeah, I'll take me about 6 months to it anyway. I'll have to. Are you going to be around for a few minutes? I'll go and get my phone in a minute. I don't know my number.
I don't know my number, and I'm not very good at this new phone.
Carry him on. That's retirement call. Excellent, dude.
And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even your faith. I told you we were victorious.
Yeah, feeling that from time to time lately.
Yeah, but it's faith, brother. The more they can chip away at that, the more you feel defeated. They do like to chip away, mates, constantly. So you raise the arm of the shield of faith.
Some people don't like it all. They think they're the saviour.
Yeah.
Follow me, I'll save yous.
That's it. Well, that's the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of men.
I know, mate, yeah.
The rudiments of the world. Follow the kings of the earth. No. Follow the rightful king.
Exactly.
The lion of the tribe of Judah.
We don't get this done without him, and we're only doing it because
Exactly.
he wants it done.
Exactly. That's the walk of
I know
faith. Exactly.
we want the same for the children, yeah. But
yes.
Mate, it's all on his call. On his demand.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we would have done it 20 years ago.
Yep. And yeah, the only way that we will actually get inside will be through faith. The only way forward, mate, because it's just too complex.
People think we're going to do this ourselves. You'll end up straight back where you were.
Exactly. Bang. And a lot worse in, a lot deeper in, mate, again. Oh, yeah.
Free now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm free.
Go to fancy.
I'm free. I'm so free.
No, I hear you. No, I see you. I felt the reaction. I felt even as I was reading, I could feel it. There was someone that, yeah, there was definitely someone who didn't appreciate it. But it's a word of truth, man. I can't believe it.
No, Sunday. And we've got all week. We do six days a week. Well, we do 7, but yeah, it's all right to make it change in the 7th and bring the spirituality in it. Yeah, otherwise you're losing me, mate. Yeah.
Maybe there's a prick to the heart, the two-edged sword. Cuts both ways.
Some people are going to find
Cuts
that
both ways.
Well, when you see how dirty Freemasonry is,
exactly.
It's quite easy to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
And don't throw the baby.
The thing is, yeah, exactly. Don't throw Jesus Christ out. Exactly right. Because that's the one that the Freemasons throw out. They throw out the name of Jesus Christ. Even when they quote the King James Bible, they still distinctly remove his name from the verses. They don't finish the verses.
Oh, they even spell it differently than what his actual name
is. They don't. They do not mention Jesus Christ at all. Yeah. No, that's a no-no. That's a big no-no in Freemasonry. He is very offensive.
We both pulled their back seats out of our cars so they can
Wrong G, man. That's the truth of us, brother. They do. They are a very, very anti-Christian system while being highly moralistic at the same time. And hence the deception.
Through Christianity to make it a dirty name.
Exactly. Bang.
Yep. Which then actually gives.
Oh, okay, so just up below it.
Right there, yeah.
Yes.
They're trying to hide you.
That's it, man. That's it.
But when you say it, I understand why people would throw the whole lot away.
Yes. And that's what it's designed to do, is create that cynicism, right? That cynical, bitter spirit because of what the people of the virtue have said that they were associated with. Right?
saves you one way or.
That's the deception of us, and it does a good job, mate. There's an old saying. Basically, a Catholic education will either make you a good Catholic or a good atheist. And man, I've met a lot of people and talked to a lot of people in Catholic educations, and that's literally where it pans out. They either end up hating God or they just in subjection to the church. Yeah.
I can get Randy now.
So many people do. But that's it.
But
yeah.
I wouldn't have a clue of most of the names.
You tar everyone with the same brush after a while because it's just safe to do it that way.
I know where people's places are, but I wouldn't have a clue what their suburbs are.
But that's not the truth of it. That's why we need discernment. Wisdom, spiritual discernment. Yeah.
Tells the truth.
Exactly.
Before the word, before the word of God, before the Spirit. Yeah.
That's it. And the shield of faith, the breastplate of righteousness, the helmet of the hope of salvation. That's what fortifies the mind. Is that not the hope that we will be saved, but the fact that we know we're saved and we're hoping for the glory that we're about to receive, man. Yeah. That actually keeps your mind in the right place when you come back to that. Because then you start rejoicing, or at least giving thanks.
Right? Otherwise,
giving thanks. And that's what you said a couple of Sundays ago, man. It's the need to give thanks and to honour God and to praise Him. And that, yeah.
But otherwise, you'll see me with a full fucking ego thinking I did this.
Yeah, exactly. Same.
No, I didn't, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I'm just as fucking easily swayed by that shit if I let my bullshit get away with me. Yeah, fully. It's very easy to be puffed up, especially when people start praising you and saying they love you and shit like that, right?
And I'm not the Messiah, I'm just a naughty boy.
Yes. No, you're not. You're just a man who's walking by faith.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Right. No. And people have a hard time understanding that.
But I'll fall. I'll fall.
But you get up again.
I'll get up again, but yeah, I'm just, you know, again, I'm fallible, very fallible.
We all are.
I'm trying every day not to be fallible.
And in ourselves, we collapse in a heap all the time. But when we walk by faith, they're the parts that we get right.
Yeah, that's right.
The rest of it, we just tend to bumble through and fuck up completely.
What he saw, he thought there might have been writing on the governor's house, but I think it's just the mosque. But the way it looks like there could have been. So, see what he has to say. Yeah, it's all over there. Sorry. Thanks, darling. Because it's all mossy, but then you got the white and the green, and right there looked like something happened in the roofs. And he's gone back to have a look at it anyway.
Have you noticed the acoustics on that portal? The Artemis goddess or whoever it is.
Yep.
Have you noticed the acoustics from that? I've actually traced the line of it in as far as what I could see it wasn't projected energy line back up through here perpendicular.
Looks like Corey might have just got back from the lake. We might have took all the cakes down there, Michael. I didn't eat them. I had sausages and eggs.
Oh, sure, Greg.
Yeah.
He always eats the cakes when we're at the lake.
Didn't you have any cake this morning, Corey?
No, I missed out on all the cake.
Corey missed out on the cake too, so did I. That's a bummer, Michael. No cake.
Off that fucking portal, and you can hear it echoing back up through here. Up there.
What if it was reverberating and popping up in their little... Here's that guy again in their Parliament House. You can hear him.
Yeah, man. It's in their system. It's directly bouncing along the energy lines. That's what I say. Acoustics pick up vibrational frequency lines. Right? You can hear it with acoustics because they operate on the same way. Right?
Yeah, it's nice.
It's awesome. So you hear the initial echo from your voice booming back over from the lake, but then the echo transfers up here and you hear it echoing back up here. So you're getting it's literally a stereo effect. It goes bang, bang like that.
Yeah, if anyone saw the resonance chambers and how it's lined out, you could quite clearly understand that our voice here could have it resonating and popping up in all different parts of Canberra. Including
or at least the spirit by which we speak and the spirit with which we speak, right? Well, definitely some of that energy, because it's designed to transfer that energy.
Yes, yeah.
So,
So it's not the energy they wanted.
No, it's not the energy. No,
exactly.
Dang,
They're using our energy.
They don't want positive energy, but they don't want accountability or condemnation coming toward them either.
Yeah, double-edged sword again. See you later, mate. Have a good one, eh? Enjoy the Sunday. Have a fun day this Sunday.
So Karen Brewer left altogether.
Oh, she's fine, mate. Yeah, but she dropped a lot of bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that she wants to get more people claiming.
Yes.
But yeah, today's just the wrong
we
day.
still
for that,
live?
that's all. Yeah, we're still live, mate. Yeah. Check. Yeah, so yeah, we'll get each person. When you've got a winter and there's just 3 of us or 5 of us, you lose the capacity. So the more people we come, the more we'll pass on the microphone to proclaim.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd rather people use their own words to proclaim, because you don't want to be giving them the word as such, because you're almost telling them what to say.
Yep.
I'd rather they come around, but there's the cheat sheet.
Absolutely.
And I don't think the governor can write a writ for new elections. I suppose he just as fraudulent.
He can order a double dissolution of Parliament.
Yeah.
Right, because Bob Hawke did it to try and get the Australia card through. His second attempt was after double dissolution of Parliament, new election, and got back in and tried to table the Australia card, and we fucking beat him twice. We knocked him down, and that's when he got taken out of the scene and Keating took over from him, right? That was the big smack on the hand. You fuckhead. You fucked up. You couldn't get it done. He even made the bloody governor call a double dissolution, right? Which means both houses of Parliament dissolved, new election. Yeah. So he could even do that if he wanted at this point for those people of Australia. But I mean, the problem is you're still playing well inside the system at that point too. So who are you going to really vote for? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Because one of the majority parties will still get into power, and so you'll still be stuck with the same pack of motherfuckers.
And yeah, they say so even the military came in, took over, then 120 days to election.
Yes.
Would we even be ready by then?
Yeah, exactly.
Without falling back into the same hole, more of the same.
Exactly. So really, there should be people now. Really, if we want to be proactive, there should be people trying to actually formulate a structure beyond the 120 days. How the elections are going to be structured? What form will we stay in the Commonwealth? Will we go back to a simpler common law system? Will we become independent? Will we try
someone dealing with it, but nobody likes it. Yeah. Anyway, someone like here. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. There's only one organisation that's gone there to try and think beyond it.
That's it.
Just and I like it, but yeah, there's a lot of debate. Well, it's so far anyway, but I think it needs every Australian to come to make it truthful and to make it real. Yeah.
As I've been saying, open public forum, open transparency on the formulation of the Constitution is the only way that they would get half an awful chance of anything for themselves in the new republic. Yeah. And yeah, I believe Bosey actually put something similar to that out.
They have. Australia one have done it, but then you hear of everyone else, blah, blah, blah. So no worries, there's one. We're constituents of all the places. Well, it's a good plan, but we'll keep it honest.
Yes.
We'll keep it honest, We can't just leave it in the one hands as such, but like I said, that's why he just wants us to get there, so then we can then sort it out.
People. But but the thing is, if he's playing a game that he thinks that he can push us into that, and then they will co-opt it. The idea is to go in eyes open, be proactive now, actually have people who are looking forward to different systems of government.
He's just got the first
different
cuts of
systems
umbilicals.
yeah.
I think he's just cutting the umbilicals with his system, which is
Yeah,
what
exactly,
brings it back
which we
home
need to do,
and
yes.
gives us the power. But yeah, it's not the be all and all. Right? It's just another step. But yeah, no one else has actually thought past that.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right? I know.
But yeah, they have.
Well, so has Trump, because he also mentioned basically his vision is the amillennial kingdom, where mankind brings in the kingdom without the real king. But yeah, at least he's looked for a structure of government beyond the turmoil and the change of power, I guess. Which will, yeah. Shit, brother.
Yeah, I'm using it less and less at the moment.
Keep it.
It reminds me very quickly when I turn it. That's for sure.
So it's that way. That sort of motion.
That's the one that's hurt me.
So they have actually fucking sprayed them good, man, for sure. Or maybe bruise the bone. If they cuff you hard enough, and do it.
So Ben thinks of me goes to school.
That's not surprising. So I mean, look how personal the battle is, mate. Don't tell me we're not here on the front.
Don't tell me you're a judge or a magistrate and you don't have a personal interest in my case.
Yes, exactly.
You do.
Yeah. That's what they used to call cronyism. If you Google that on the internet, you'll find a lot of Australian articles, political articles referring to Australian cronyism. Mates looking after mates inside the fucking government, right? That's a nice way of saying what we've been trying to say, that the government is fully corrupt. It systemically and systematically suppresses the truth about itself, man, on every fucking level. Cronyism. It's that simple,
it is,
really.
yeah. They were awarded the positions on their merit, not because they were the best achievers, but because of their bloodline. They were given their merit. They were tried, tested with the family, through the right schools, all connected, on merit. There you go.
And because they took the compromise, they took the moral compromise. Otherwise, you get stuck this side of the crystal ceiling, mate. You just don't get through. Simple as that. You can't go into that bigger playing field where you've got a lot more power and influence over a lot more people without them putting you on a fucking leash before they let you out.
And that's what that's what the tie signifies, that you're on their leash, but they just cut you loose to go do the job. That's what the ties represent. That's why even on that bend.
There you
just
go.
Cut the leash. There you go. You're one of ours, but you go forth and do the job.
Yeah, that's right. What we want you to do. That's it.
Suits.
Fully, brother.
I'm going to lock off, Diggs. I hope you've had a good day. Really sorry I haven't really conversed with you guys much directly. I know there's probably a lot of good stuff there. If you've got some links that you really wanted to share, if you could put it onto the Telegram, the Freedom Front Canberra War Room, or the Freedom Front War Room. Now we've got a little spider freeloader about to crawl on the phone. It's all right, he's gone again. He hung on his web. Did a Spider-Man. Cabbage lives matter. Well, that's a very good term just to end with, I think, mate. On that note, cabbage lives matters. And have a great day. Happy Sunday. And thanks for being there. Maybe a bit more time tomorrow to sit back and have a good day, have a chat. Hi, Day Media. There's a Day Media there. Sweet. Well, we'll hand over to Day Media because we were the Breakfast Morning D program. So we'll hand over to the Day Media and all the Freedom Fronts. Go forth and conquer and have a great day. God bless you all.